Hello and welcome. Oh, I can hear myself. Sorry about that. I thought I tried to catch that before stream started. Hello and welcome to the Friday dev stream. How's it going, everyone? Surus, I can't hear you. Did I break you?
Oh no, I was still muted.
No, you're good. I broke a bunch of audio things right as I clicked transition, so I wasn't sure.
Yo, what's up, Sora?
What's up, chat? What's up?
Wild
Okay.
5K?
Let's get some of the obvious stuff out of the way. Is there Battle Pass news on this stream? No, but stick around because we'll be raiding someone and they'll be giving you some Battle Pass news. I think. I don't know. That's what I was told. I might be wrong. I could be completely lying, but I'm giving the information I was given. Other than that, what's going on? I don't know. Surus, what's going on? I was waiting for this. What's happening tomorrow?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the Pro Series. It's the Pro Series Grand Final.
Pro Series Grand Final. Let's go.
Right. You can mark your calendars, brawlhalla.com/schedule. Hey, Brawlhalla says I'm right. We're rating someone who will reveal a BP thing. Sweet. I paid attention in class. Yeah, tomorrow, Pro Series Grand Final, Saturday, July 31st. Starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you don't know what that is in your time zone, go to brawlhalla.com/schedule to find out, because it does the conversion. It's super convenient. Highly recommend.
Yeah, it'll do it in your time zone, wherever you are in the world.
Yo. Also in esports, it's the Summer Championship. Sign up. Well, it's not actually currently the Summer Championship, but sign up for the Summer Championship. Go over to smash.gg/Brawlhalla to sign up and compete, and you can compete in your region. Of course, we've got the 5 major regions. We don't require any financial or elo to sign up or anything like that. You can just sign up and play and have fun.
That's the important part. Have fun.
Yeah, that honestly, that's the most critical part. What else? I think if I've heard correctly, that some of the Summer Championship packs are starting to roll out, so you might start seeing those in your stores for those of you people who have been asking repeatedly. But that's about as much information as I have. I don't think it's out everywhere. I don't know, Surus, do you know?
Yeah, it should be rolling out today and tomorrow over the next couple of days, just across regions and platforms.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for it. You might also see the tile in game coming up soon, and so you can always just buy it through the tile as well.
Okay, sick. Yeah. So that's as much information as we have, as much housekeeping as we have. I see someone asking how long the Pro Series final is going to go. Well, that's the beautiful thing about esports and competition, is that we don't control how long it goes. I think there is a set minimum. I don't actually know off the top of my head what the rewards track is set like, but if last Sunday with the Pro Series semifinal is any indication, if the players end up kind of just completely destroying, then we'll likely run some sort of replay so that we can get those hours for those of you people who are looking for those points. But that's as much information as I have. There's no set time, you know what I mean? Like if they destroy, then it'll be short. If it goes down to like last game every single time, then it'll go long. That's esports. That's competition. Okay. Are you in a lobby, Surus?
I am. I was doing some strikeouts before the stream started.
Do you still want to do some strikeouts to warm up, or?
Yeah, I'd like to, just because, man, it's not playing well today. I'm just saying.
You're good. Honestly, I've been trying to play more ranked this season, because last season I played, I played really late in the season, and I got my diamond, and then I left. But this season I was like trying to play, and man, some people out there are very good. The skill level keeps going up.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of how it works, right? Like no matter what, it'll always keep going up.
Yeah.
Just because new techniques, more players have come in and they're learning. All right, focus.
Bom dia, what's up to my Portuguese people out there? I'll stay unmuted to Surus, but once he gets into his ranked matches, I'll mute to him and I'll answer questions y'all have about things like that, about how to play or tips, things like that. I'll also watch him a little bit. Any tips to buffer the Nair on the Gauntlet 3-piece? That's definitely the hardest part. If you go and look up Boomy's video, that's the easiest explanation. I can kind of simplify the logic behind it so that you understand, because sometimes understanding why a thing works helps people to do it better. But the short is that you're buffering the side chase dodge, but if you don't do a direction for the jump part, then it'll work, is kind of the logic. I phrased that poorly, but basically you're trying to buffer a horizontal chase dodge, but you want to get the jump out right before it, right? So you do the buffer and then you do the jump. Like, technically speaking, the inputs that the game reads is you do a down light and then a jump, chase dodge forward, and air. Like, that is on paper what is happening, except that you're buffering the chase dodge forward before the jump. And the way that you make that work is you do the forward and chase dodge input, and then you do the jump with no direction. If you do a direction on the jump, it'll change the direction, it'll eat that input, so it'll throw off that buffer. So what you're trying to do is in a very small window, it's slightly easier than just doing it frame perfect, is to buffer that forward chase dodge and then the jump. It's still really, really hard, but that's what makes it easier, is to do that buffer.
All right, one more strikeout.
And I will say, you don't need that to be a great Gauntlet player. Like, it's definitely really helpful for all you Gauntlet players out there, but that's not like critical to what makes a Gauntlet player a Gauntlet player. You're welcome, Yumi. That's what these streams are about, is helping y'all level up your gameplay. Honestly, it makes my life harder when I go queue ranked, but it helps the community, so that's always great. Tips: you want to be a scythe, scythe tips, because you want to be more, you want Mordex to be 25 before Brawl Pass. Well, if you're going for pure levels, then you don't need any tips. You just play, and you'll eventually get those character levels. But in general, if you want some side tips, I'll say Hardy MJ actually put out a video that I thought was pretty helpful for me. I learned a lot of Scythe just by playing, so I don't have the best tips. Honestly, Scythe is probably one of my weakest weapons. But the big kind of core concepts that I picked up is like, everything with Scythe is a setup tool, right? Basically everything in there's like very, very few moves in Scythe's kit that have high variable force, besides like forward on the downlight, and forward on the side light. I think I'm kind of blanking a little bit. Yeah, I think besides those two, you don't have a whole lot of variable force on most of the Scythe moves. So what you usually want to do is kind of start putting the person you're playing against into different like categories. Are they the type of person who likes to spot dodge after getting hit? Are they the type of person who likes to jump after getting hit? Are they the type of person who likes to dodge down after getting hit? Because for the most part, a lot of people, unless you're like getting into plat, diamond, higher, they're gonna fall into those kind of habits. So you want to kind of figure out what those habits are and how to respond to them, right? So if they're the type of person who likes to jump after getting hit, you kind of poke them with like neutral lights, poke them with side lights, soft side light, not the alt input, and then do like a jump nair or a jump recovery and try to catch them for that. That's the kind of stuff that you want to be like figuring out. And then with the spot dodge, you know what I mean? Like, change up your timings. That's usually a really good answer to spot dodges, or unfortunate. I know. Or you can find other things like start moving with it. If you incorporate chase dodges into your Scythe play, that is also really, really good. So you do stuff like a side light, and then you do like a jump chase dodge forward, and then it'll cover a couple of options. You can do like a reverse nair, things like that. And if you're having trouble with the alt inputs, honestly, go play against some bots and just practice. Like, this sounds really stupid, but practice just like flicking your stick a bunch of times. Just like go and do just flick left and right. Just hit a nair and just practice hitting that nair and going for the alt input and just seeing how that feels, and you'll get a better feel for it. But basically for the alt inputs, it's once you get that first hit, you can start putting that other direction in. What is some good beginner characters? Usually I like to recommend based on weapons and based on stats, right? So sword, hammer, spear are usually really, really good starting weapons. Axe can be in that kind of category as well. They're kind of really straightforward, right? Like, if you want to hit something that's in front of you, you press forward and then attack button. You want to hit something that's above you, press up, jump, and attack button, and then you're gonna attack above you. So it's really like straightforward in that regard. And then from there, start going into like stat lines that are relatively neutral, which is why I usually go for like Bryn, Bodvar. Bryn, if you take out a speed stance. Bodvar is usually like my go-to for a lot of people, because it's just like so straightforward. Things like that. I was recommending Koji. If you're feeling froggy, maybe like a Diana can be a pretty neutral stat line as well. There's a bunch, but those would be my recommendations to people who are new. Is start with those weapons, try playing those, and then start with the stat lines around that, and then kind of find which weapons you like, and then move to other weapons with it, right? So like you find, okay, I really like hammer, let me try playing some other hammer characters. And this is kind of a tip to the person who's asking for how to choose a main. Find like a weapon or two that you really like. That'll usually go, because everyone has the same base light attacks, right? So you start off like, for me, I really liked axe, because at the time it was the only weapon that literally it was like only one, it had just come out, only one character had the weapon at the time, and I was like, this is cool. So I picked up axe, and then I was trying out other axe characters. So maybe hammer feels really good because it's a good starting weapon. Let's try Taros. Okay, maybe spear feels really good. Let's try Bryn. Just kind of play around once you have like a weapon or two that you really like. Surus used the plat border. He earned it. He should show it off. You're right, chat.
I don't think I've ever used my ranked borders.
Yeah, I don't do it because people use it as an excuse to be mean.
That's fair. So, what are we doing? Or is today
it's whenever you're ready. Yeah, today's a ranking. It's a ranked stream.
This might be the first time I played ranked.
Yeah, I don't think you've played on this season, so. Ooh, you played 2 games.
I played 2 games, and I'm almost there.
Okay.
Ooh.
Is he gonna just start the season in plat?
Let's start the season with some random playing, so might lose that elo. Nice. Scythe first.
I'll make sure to mute to you while you actually play your ranked games. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Somebody asked what to do when I'm hard stuck 2100 elo. This is kind of good advice for anyone who's hard stuck any elo, is to find that thing that you're missing. Usually the easiest way to find that thing that you're missing is to go and watch your replays and see what you're doing, but also watch higher level gameplay or play with people who are roughly your elo and higher, but like play with them a lot. And that'll really help you kind of find that thing that you're missing, right? Am I not incorporating weapon tosses enough in neutral? Am I not doing gravity cancels in the right spots? Am I not doing, do I not have really good options against anti-airs? Find that thing that you're messing up on. Generally speaking, with like gold players and lower, I assume that the thing that they're missing is like something fundamental, right? So it's something like you don't know your weapons options against certain players, or you don't know your combos. Things like that are generally like what you're missing at lower level. But as you progress, when you get into that 2100s, it could be something really minute, like, oh, you're not consistent with your fast falls, or you're not I don't know, you're not finding the right option against someone who likes to do wake up attacks.
Too much commitment
like
on
the if you're confused about things, feel free to ask questions. So that's what this is about. Space, I saw your message earlier. Sorry, I was responding to someone else, but things are good. I hope things are good with you. Nice. I like the raw down sig there. When you're in neutral, sometimes it's doing just like that weird option, especially when it's kind of safe like that, works out really well. Asking my elo is a HIPAA violation, so sorry. I'm just kidding. I get diamond every season. I am admittedly struggling this season, but I get diamond every season, and I'll probably get it again. Bow tips. A lot of bow comes down to like D-light combos, right? Like you wanna know your D-light combos, but good bow comes to like literally everything else. Knowing your offstage sares and dares. Being really good at your offstage pressure with that can be really good. Being really good with your nair juggles can help your bow play. And also just like in neutral, like dare poking for spacing. But like at the lowest form, people can get away with focusing on positioning and downlights for bow.
Where was my dodge?
How do you grab players with scythes and gauntlets? It's just the attack. It's that was a dare. That was a nair. It just, the move itself has a grab property to it. I don't. There's nothing fancy to it. If you're confused, go into training mode. Try it out. Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of questions. Sorry, I will miss a couple questions. I don't mind if y'all spam a question if it's something helpful. Any advice for orb users been struggling with the
I'm just
juggling?
gonna go straight into the next one, Duke. Straight into the next one. I don't want to talk about that one.
All right, good luck.
Ooh. All right, it's Taros though.
If I played against Foda, he would destroy me. Foda's very good at the game.
How do I get out of plat?
What was the question? Orb. Okay, you're struggling with juggling. So start focusing on the dodge. Right. So once you get them in the air with orb, there's nothing true that you can do. Right. So instead, focus on what are they gonna do after you hit them with the nair or whatever. Right. Usually, you'll see people do like nair, 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 nair. And that can work if your opponent doesn't decide to press the dodge button ever. But what you're really looking for is like, what are they gonna do? Because once they burn that dodge, that's when you get to do more, right? So you see them and you hit like side light, down light, nair, right? So you get lucky, get the 3-piece, they're in the air. Maybe they're gonna dodge down afterwards. You read that out, go for another gravity cancel, side light, nair. Keep going with that, you know? Like you can start going for that read. That's likely what you're looking for to maintain that juggle. But also you don't need to do that juggle, right? There's a lot of orb players out there, if you watch competitive, that they don't do that whole 4, 5, 6-piece orb air juggle. Instead, you're seeing them win in neutral a lot. They'll do like dare pokes, and then you'll see like a 2, 3-piece off the orb, and then reset and more dare poking for spacing. And then again, you go in for the 3-piece, and then you go side light Sair for the kill. Find the playstyle that works for you, for sure. What's the best weapon for high gold, high plat? Play the weapon that you know the best. There's no one singular weapon. Like, okay, a lot of people try to distill things into like, oh, I have to play the S tier or else I'm gonna struggle, blah, blah, blah. If you're gold plat, tiers don't matter. They literally don't matter. Every single character and every single weapon can get out of gold plat, and none statistically struggle more than others. You as a player might struggle with one more than others because it might not fit your play style, but statistically there is nothing to say that X weapon is going to do better in gold elo than Y weapon. Best sword combos. I'm a big fan of, this is personal preference, I'm a big fan of D-Light Dare resets because it's higher potential output if you can get that 3rd piece. But if you don't get that 3rd piece, obviously you're technically doing less damage than like a side light recovery, or sorry, D-Light recovery, or and you don't get the stage control that a D-Light Sair would give you. So that's why I'm a big fan of D-Light Dare personally. But obviously you should know all of them because they're going to work better in different situations, right? If you're getting people into the if you're getting people on the edge, you're going to want to do a D-Light Sair. If you're doing a D-Light Dare on the edge, you kind of flubbing, or you really want that like downward kill for a battle pass mission or something. Yeah. Any tips for approaching with Katars? You want to mix up your approaches a lot, but I see a lot of Katar players approach with like dash sidelight can be really, really good. Dash jump downer can be really, really good. Obviously you want to be mixing up between the two. Also see like dash weapon toss, pick up neutral light can be really, really good. But again, at the end of the day, if you're having trouble approaching, it's probably not like the move you're choosing as much as like the way that you are approaching, which is to say that like maybe you're just straight up running at them and then doing an attack, which is too obvious, and it makes it so that you're getting countered, which is why you're feeling like, oh, Katars can't approach, blah, 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 things like that. I think he's in his head though, because he just went next. Are you good? You want to take a breather, or you want to win?
I just want to win.
Okay. I'm just checking.
A little tilted today, not gonna lie.
It's okay. Yeah, everyone has bad days. It's okay.
Gotta keep the mental strong.
Yeah.
Don't let it get to you.
It's okay to take breaks too. Struggling to do D-Light Dare on the left side. I can do just fine towards the right. Any tips? Depends on what you're playing with. If I had to guess, you're playing on a controller. And controller stick, a lot of times people are just more comfortable pushing to the right than they are to the left. That's just like fingers. You know what I mean? Like the pullback that you have to do for your thumb versus the push forward can feel different. But at the end of the day, it comes down to practice. You just need to get that muscle memory in there. And if you're struggling, like particularly, you don't have to do D-Light Dare. Like I said, I really like D-Light Dare, but you don't have to do D-Light Dare. Technically, you just do D-Light Dare and go home and be fine. And then the other part of it is, just practice it. Go into training mode, put the bot to spot dodge, and just practice. And then compare the two, right? If you do a D-Light Dare to the right, and you're like, okay, I'm hitting this consistently. What is working about it this way versus the other way that isn't muscle memory, and see like, oh, maybe I'm not drifting into that dare fast enough, or maybe I'm like pressing the input wrong on the left side for some reason. Things like that.
Super winnable.
Those are some suggestions. But at the end of the day, just practice. Tips on playing with blasters and against blasters. I'm seeing a lot of blasters questions. Okay, so playing with blasters, you want to be focusing on like your spacing. A lot of blasters characters don't have really good ground to air anti-air. This is something that Slosh and I talked about last week. So you want to practice in particular like jump nair. Jump nair is really helpful, and then practice your dashing on stage, because people are going to try to do that air approach. So you can do like dash back side light is really good. Dash back neutral light really good for like stopping them from just like walking forward and then jump attack. So practice that first of all, and then second of all, practice your combos. Of course, D-Light Dare, D-Light Sair, D-Light Dash Jump, D-Light Dash Jump Recovery. You practice those three. Playing into to blasters, you generally want to try to stack up. You're trying to bait out some options is a lot of times what you're trying to do, right? Because there's a lot of blasters players that'll play like pretty defensive, and they'll do just like pokes with side light because it's got really far reach.
Doing that, Surus, dude.
And so do like dash in, dash back, and then dash forward spot dodge can really get in on top of them. But usually you're trying to get through the neutral light, because the neutral light is their riskiest move. And again, also, you know, air approach technically will work against a lot of blasters players. Just don't do it too much.
It's playing a little parry, so I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Your stock in silver. I'm not sure what stock in silver means, but if you're a silver player, you're likely missing something fundamental. You're likely missing combos for your character, or you're likely doing only one option, right? Like you're just running forward and hitting the sig button. You see that happen with a lot of people in silver, or even like Surus, right? He's in gold, but you'll see him sometimes just like turn his brain off and only press the sig button. Once you start like kind of getting those two things down, if you're still hard stuck silver gold, likely you are struggling against your opponent, which is to say, like, yeah, you know your combos, but you don't know how to get into the position to hit them, and like your opponent is maybe hitting you with a bunch of sigs, and you're kind of just like
GG.
melting. You just need to learn
mental good
hitboxing
and not
like
lose
that.
200 on some days. Honestly, it happens. There's sometimes you just lose a lot of elo.
He's not in plat. Good tips. Yeah. That's very true though. That like, you know, sometimes you drop a bunch of elo, and then sometimes you gain a bunch of elo. I think everybody's had those good runs and bad runs.
The slip and slide days.
But if you do start feeling yourself slipping, like you're like, oh, I'm real upset. You start thinking about throwing a controller or whatever, take a break. That is like the number one. The second you start thinking, I'm going to break my table in half, you need to take a break. This is advice I need to take myself. I need to say, take a break.
Please don't damage your stuff. It's probably,
it's not worth it.
Know, yeah. All right, right into the next one.
Whenever you're ready.
Yep.
Can you implement a game mode where there's no SIGs, just combos? You know that SIGs can be part of combos, right? Like, you know that there are true combos that involve signatures. I'm just saying. Also, I feel like a lot of people get it in their head that like SIGs are somehow like broken or something like that. That's not really the case. SIGs have generally higher recovery frames.
Wow.
And they generally make you a lot more predictable. Wow, he's getting rolled. What the heck? Hit him with a neutral light, bro. Anyways, SIGs are not as strong as you in your head think they are. What's likely happening, oh, he's dead, is that oh, he touched. Taros let him. What's likely happening is that your brain is like turning off. You got hit by like 3 of the same SIG and you go, oh my god, this dude's OP, he's so good, things like that. Just go and practice and learn what your responses are, right? If Taros only wants to do side SIG, practice jumping over it, hitting them with a thing from behind, hitting them from above with like a dare, things like that. You wanna practice against signatures, because that's just an excuse in my opinion to just be like, oh, delete signatures. No, you just get better. Help for Magyar. Magyar is super tanky. But as with anything, you want to practice your fundamentals with the characters first, right? Practice your greatsword strings, practice your hammer combos, right? That's gonna be first and foremost. Once you start getting into those, then honestly with Magyar, some of the stuff that I see that works really, really well is like mid greatsword string signatures, right? So you do like side neutral and then reset, side neutral, side sig, something like that. I don't know, something weird. Just kind of catch your opponent off guard, because a lot of times people are expecting you to go for just like light attack strings inside the greatsword. And Magyar has some really good sigs to throw in to catch people off guard. And it changes up the timing on it too, which was really, really good. And then with that, I had something else. Well, just practice your hammer. The neutral sigs, both of them are pretty solid too, I would say. Tips for hammer, practice side light, actually. So dash side light can be really good. Obviously know your hammer stuff. Know your hammer D-light combos. But practice like side light, because side light is your setup tool on hammer. People kind of forget this, is that like that's your read setup. So you hit them with a side light and see how they react. Do they like to dash back? Okay, now I'll just chase dodge forward side sig. Do they like to jump? Okay, now I'll do a jump side air. Or I'll do an end sig, right? Do they like to stand still? Okay, dash forward neutral light, things like that. Side light can actually be really, really good for kind of getting in their head. Other than that, do the vertical. Nair, dare, recovery. You just kind of juggle. Sorry, words. Juggle on stage. Bounce them up and down and keep that vertical. Really, really good for that as well. How do you get over addiction to dashing forward every time you attack or do a combo? Get hit in the face. That's what works for me. I did neutral light and chase dodge forward 5 times in a row. I ate a neutral light every single time. I go, okay, lesson learned. Get hit in the face. Find someone who will do a wake up attack and hit you in the face every single time. Problem solved. How to choose stats for the legend? Generally speaking, you want to go for either. There's a bunch of different schools of thoughts. And it kind of just comes down to personal preference and what character you're playing. But a lot of people like to have relatively neutral stats, right? So if you have an extreme stat and you can try to bring it down into something that'll put yourself in the 5s and 6s, that's usually a good idea. Another option is to put into the stat that's your lowest rank. So if you were a 3 defense legend, put into that defense stat. That's usually a really common thing. If you're relatively neutral and you don't really know what to do, a lot of people like to take out a dex, because dex is kind of one of those niche stats that can be really, really tricky. And so for the most part, you're safe to take out a dex. Other than that, there's some stats that people feel are critical, right? So I think, if I remember correctly, Katars, you want 6 dex for some of the combos, or like you want base 5 movement speed. So if your movement speed is a little too low, you want to put into that to bring that up, things like that. Those are all the different ways you can play. But practice, play around with it. Put into a stat and play with it for a day and find the one that you feel is right. And I think it's tricky because there's kind of this confirmation bias where you'll win a lot with like putting into movement speed, and you'll think, oh man, movement speed, that's the stat. And then you'll lose a lot with strengths, and you'll be like, oh man, strength was definitely not the stat. And then you put that across like a larger time span, and you'll find out that strength is like better sometimes. So it's kind of a weird thing, but I think that's a good way to kind of get a feel for what works best for you. Spacing tips. A lot of spacing comes down to knowing what your opponent can do, right? Surus has gauntlets. They don't have the most range. Like at best, you can do like a downlight or a dash side light.
Surus with the reeds. Thank you, Soul Ninja.
Doesn't have the most range. And both of those are relatively grounded. So you want to try to play aerial around it, like things like that. That's how you space around it. You did good. I liked hearing you say his dodges.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that in the previous games.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to like get out of your own head and then focus on the gameplay.
Yeah, for sure. I think that helped you. Like, even though you weren't, I don't think you used that information that much, but the fact that you were just like paying attention helped you a lot. Oh, my camera died. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Surus, play gauntlets more. You did good with the reeds. Okay, thank you. I do really enjoy gauntlets. Out.
Sorry, chat. Fixing my camera because I think my cat unplugged something. Tips for spear mix-ups. A lot of it's based off of sidelight.
Nice. Oh! That was supposed to be a recovery instead of ground pound.
There we go. This is why you keep spare batteries and plugs. I was aware. I was trying to fix it. I had to swap batteries because my cat unplugged it, so it wasn't charging. Hello. Okay, I'm still muted him. Just making sure. Oh, I remember now. Someone had a question about what is a reset. So a reset is a fighting game term for when you reset your positions, right? It's not necessarily like going all the way back to neutral, as much as it's like you do like your combo and then you'll reset so that you can do your combo again. What it comes from is in traditional fighting games, like more 2D platform or 2D fighters, not like necessarily platform fighters, is you start getting diminishing returns on hitting too much. Like for instance, if you played like Marvel vs. Capcom, things like that, then you'll kind of get a feel for like, okay, he's doing an infinite, but he's doing less damage as he continues the infinite. So you'll do a reset so that you reset that diminishing return and start doing damage again. All right. Good for questions again. How to hit D-Light on hammer? Do it. No. There's a couple of ways to get into the position to do it. There's dash dance until they do a thing, and then you do a D-Light. Not necessarily the best way to do it, but basically you can just dash forward. D-Light is really helpful. Try to catch a landing with it, dash D-Light, or do jump gravity cancel D-Light. So you'll see sometimes hammer players will do like a D-Light with jump gravity cancel D-Light, punish them for trying to hit you, things like that. But yeah, those are like three of the most common ways that I see D-Light being brought into. How do you do a gravity cancel? A gravity cancel is when you do an aerial spot dodge and then you can do your light attack, right? Or heavy attack. You do your grounded attack.
Back on that peak elo. Let's go.
So to do a gravity cancel, just be in the air, just do an aerial spot dodge, and then do whatever move you're trying to do. The end. It's just a thing that you should practice if you're having trouble with it.
Lol.
I don't know what he's laughing about. Oh wait, is this dude also serious? Okay. That's a snipe.
That's funny.
How do you buffer chase dodge? To understand what a buffer is, basically,
GG.
is to say to do the attack in advance while you're still in like the recovery frames of your attack. So,
GG. Well played. Thank you for the elo.
we know which one's the
that?
real
Who
one.
was that in chat? Oh, there was predictions on that one.
They canceled it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, to buffer it, you do your attack, and while it's
okay.
ending
All right.
in the recovery frames, you buffer your input. That's essentially what it was.
No way I'm gonna lose with John Cena.
We'll see.
Coach, you're supposed to believe in me.
You know I always believe in you.
Do you though? Do you?
100%. Val and Sig, are you talking about Gauntlet or Sword? Because there's different things to do in different ones. If you're playing against Sword, honestly, go a little bit more horizontal to play against it. Usually they're not just doing it raw, but they're doing like they'll do like, I don't know, a side light and try to read a jump, and they'll go for the N6, something like that, or like a neutral light. So try to go more horizontal with your responses, and then if it is the Gauntlet N-Sig, then you want to go try to stay low. That can be really good, or do like really far high. So like if they hit you with I don't know, D-Light Sayer, I don't know why that was what I jumped into, but something that pushes you far away, right?
What?
And then they're gonna look for that N-Sig usually. Like you can kind of see the situations where people go for a Val Gauntlet N-Sig. It's like on the edge, or like they've pushed you on the edge, they're trying to do that, or like as like a distance move, right? Like you're very rarely doing it as like a mid string kind of thing.
Nice.
What's a wake up attack? A wake up attack is like it's when you attack after getting hit. That's the kind of short of it, right? So like say Surus hits a neutral light, and then the Ember, after getting hit by that neutral light, immediately throws out a Katars sidelight. That's a wake up sidelight, because it's like she woke up out of hit stun. Again, that's another term that kind of comes from traditional fighting games, because your character would be like in this like sleep state, not in a sleep state, but they'll be like, they have a face, you know, and that makes them look like they're knocked out. You don't usually notice it in this game, but it technically is there too when they're doing that spiral. But that's a wake up attack. It's like, oh, they woke up and now they're attacking.
Nothing. Nice.
What's a gimp or a whiff? A whiff is when your attack doesn't hit. It's like an air ball for you basketball heads out there. It's when you throw out an attack and it hits only air. That's a whiff. And you just whiff some air. And then what is a gimp is when you beat someone out off stage and kill them before like they go to the kill box, right? Like when you hit them and you're like eating all their options, right? They burn their jump and you keep hitting them. They burn their recovery. You see the stars come out. You're still hitting them. You're not letting them get to the wall, but you're not hitting them hard enough to launch them into the kill box. That's a gimp. Tips on axe. Early axe, practice your sidelight combo and into dodge read, right? Sidelight nair into dodge read. Sidelight sair, also really, really good. But practice those. If you're having trouble in neutral, practice your dare approaches, but obviously don't over rely on that. And practice neutralite. Axe neutralite, really, really good. Also, of course, practice axe downlight against people who like to play really, really floaty. Because axe downlight is, in my opinion, one of the best anti-airs for grounded light attacks. It is really, really good. Good job. That was close.
Yeah, I realized I was getting they were playing not as aggressive, and I kept going in and getting punished for it. So I was like, for that last stock, I was like, you got to bring it back, reset a little bit.
Yeah, I really like the way that you were doing those recoveries on the spear. Cover a lot of space.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like my spear's gotten pretty good.
Yeah, I think your spear is one of your best weapons.
I need to work on reading now. I think
With spear,
I used to be able to read read spear, like, you know, with the dodges from sidelight. but I don't think I got it anymore. So I need to go
Well,
back to,
yeah.
to the lab on that.
Start practicing them up again.
Thank you, believers. I hope you got a lot of points.
Can you make the game so that in ranked matches you fight people based on your skills and your stats? This statement to me reads as a very salty statement, and this isn't to undermine what you're saying, but it is the most objective stat that we can give you is your elo, which is what ranked is based off of. It's how well you are doing in a given moment. And yes, some people are going to not play a lot of ranked and their elo might not be the best representation of their actual skill level, but we can't, like, without, how are we supposed to get that information otherwise, right? Like, it's based on how well you're doing against other people
too.
So it literally is skill based. You might be bad in a certain matchup and that's fine. That's something that you can work on, but we go with the only information we have. Like,
that was so bad.
there's some representation of your skill. How do you dodge better? Watch your replays
Still
and
got to
then
stop. Let's go.
watch your replays, because you'll watch your replay and you'll see, oh wow, I dodged really poorly in that
Giving it
thing.
up. Right back into it.
And then if it's something like Scythe or Gauntlets where it's not as always obvious that you dodged poorly, watch how pro players dodge in those situations, right? Like watch wrench matches and be like, okay, he's playing Katars, his opponent didn't get hit by D-Light Dare. What is their opponent doing, right? And then the third way is to just practice it. Go against a bot, go into training mode, do the thing. But the way you dodge is going to be dependent on a lot of different things, right? You're not going to always dodge up and away against Scythe, because that's just going to make you predictable. You want to change up how you're doing it. Tips to not jump out of jumps and to not run out of jumps and recoveries. There's a lot of information that's been given to help players who are having that problem, right? There's sweat beads now so that you have a better idea of when you are out of those options. There's the stars when you get your recovery stuff so that you can see, okay, my recovery is gone, or oh, I have eaten their recovery with my move, things like that. But other than that, personally, I just learned from experience. I practiced a lot. I would literally run as far as I could off stage and try to get back and just see how far I can push things. Depending on your weapons, you have different things that you can do, right? So like, for instance, Lance, you can do Lance side airs, and that'll help you extend your time off stage and extend your distance traveled. But the biggest thing, if you find yourself very, very frequently running out of all your options and not getting to a wall, very likely you're panicking in your off stage and you're pressing all your buttons at once. You're burning all of your jumps and your dodge the second you get hit. Be calm and just focus on like, okay, I have all this movement. I can see what they're doing to try to catch me or how they're not going to do anything against it.
Oh, come on. Please lose. No, sorry about that.
Good job.
Thank you.
I think are you almost plat? Is this next win? Is that it? Did I get the elo right? I don't know.
Sorry. In-game chat.
You good? I got Dono Wall chat.
What's a dono wall?
It's when I ask you a question and you don't respond at all. I didn't pay enough to get a response.
What was the question?
I said, are you almost plat?
I think so. What's plat again?
I think it's 1680.
All right, well, Isaiah, take me home.
Let's see if you get it on this one.
I'm not that good with Canon, though. And I'm up against an elite gamer. You can do it, sir, so you can make the history again with hitting plat. I will. For you. Thank you.
Do you need to know frame data to achieve higher ranks? No. I guarantee you, if you ask the top, we'll say top 10 pro players, take the top 3 teams in Pro Series and ask them for all of the frame data on
never use side
5 legends, they probably can't answer. They probably all will get different answers. Frame data is it is valuable to know what works against what, but I think most players go off feel more than like raw numbers. Raw numbers can be really helpful, but you don't need to know raw numbers.
Yo, if my VPN is on,
now he's thinking his VPN's on,
but it feels like it. Them Johns though. I can't disconnect in the middle of the match.
You just started 90 days ago. When you're ready to go competitive, how is the best way to start? Just start Summer Championship. Sign it up. Or go to smash.gg/Brawlhalla. If you're wanting to start like
nice dodges
in a less intense format, maybe, then there's a bunch of community tournaments. If you go to if you open up the game, the esports tab, you can find some community tournaments over there to sign up. There you go. There's some ways that you can start getting into competitive. What does a VPN do? It gives you a secure network. It can do a lot of things. For some people, it helps with routing to a server. For other people, like us, to use it, we do it for security reasons, which means it adds more stop gates between us and whatever we're trying to connect to. You're stuck at 1580 elo. How do you get out of gold? Kind of the same advice I had for the guy who was in silver.
You got this.
Is like practice your combos, and check your fundamentals. Other than that, you can work on your approaching, because that tends to be a place where people also struggle if they know their combos. And yeah, I think those are the big things. Other than that, watch your replays. Watching replays are really, really helpful.
It's way too even for that last stock.
Tips for ranked 2v2s. I am admittedly not a great 2v2er, but I can tell you what I do wrong, which is that I don't pay attention to my teammate. I play 2v2s like it's a 1v1, v1, v1. Focus on how to follow up off your teammate. One thing that you'll see a lot of really, really good 2v2 players do is like they have amazing awareness of what is going on all around the stage at any time. And they're really, really good at helping their teammate, right?
Oh, no.
The second a teammate is in trouble, they're immediately over there in position, trying to follow up and chase and save them, things like that. Having more awareness of your teammate can be really, really good in twos. Yeah. Oh snap! Oh snap! I'm gonna watch. Ooh! Oh! I'm sweating for him. He's gonna pop off first.
Oh. Sorry for screaming in your ear, chat. Oh, my bad. So close.
Oh, that was so close. You were one hit. I thought that nair.
Oh, dude, I thought that nair. I was like, that's it for sure.
Oh. Okay, you have time for one more game.
What? No way. What time is it? Okay, all right.
We gotta do. We actually have to end at a time.
Justin Jr., you gotta throw this one. You gotta throw this. You gotta throw this so I can hit plat on the next one. But it's a scythe. Scythe people never throw.
This isn't really a question we normally answer on our Friday stream, but somebody's asking about if there's a possibility for potential legends to have shared weapons. And the answer to that is legitimately never say never. Right now, there's still a whole lot of legend weapon pairings that have not been added. Oof. There's a lot of weapon pairings that still haven't been added. And there's still plenty more to work on. But never say never. Who knows? Maybe we'll find that one archetype that we just is so perfect for a weapon combination. But as of right
Dude is
now,
too
we're
fast.
working on filling out our.
Where are my
wow.
inputs?
He's just struggling. His brain just dies against Scythe. I gotta terminate this tutorial. What tutorial are you talking about?
You know what? I'm just gonna check for VPN right now as well.
While getting stringed. While getting hit, he's like.
One of those days, chat. One of those days.
Will we have a new legend? We're always working on things. But again, this is the Friday stream. We're focused on like how to get better. Scythe tips. I gave some earlier if you want to rewatch that. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, to overly condense it, basically everything in Scythe is a setup tool. So you want to just try to condense what your opponent does into different categories. So you want to say, okay, my opponent likes to spot dodge, and then try to find different options and different setups for that, right? So you do like a soft side light. They're the type of person who likes to spot dodge, do a neutral light right afterwards, things like that. Tips for not being nervous in tournament. Nerves is a weird one. A lot of mental stuff is really, really hard. And the way that you tackle mental things is going to be different from person to person. My go-to is to just do it. I'm the type of person who, if I wanted to get through tournament nerves, I'm going to just participate in as many tournaments as possible. Just get used to feeling like tournaments are just another day in ranked or another day in casual queue. You know, like just play it to the point where what those stressors for me aren't even a factor. That might not necessarily work for people though. For other people, it might be like having a consistent ritual right before it, right? Get that cup of tea right before you play. You know, like do 5 sit-ups before you play. I don't know, whatever your ritual is. It can vary from person to person, but find the thing that works for you. Because it really is. It's going to be dependent. Those are some of my suggestions. Other than that, just understand like your first couple tournaments you're probably going to lose. That it is what it is. But that's good and that's fine. And you can rewatch those matches and you can learn from those matches. And then next one, maybe you do better. Maybe you go 1-2 instead of 0-2. You're like, okay, cool. I progress. Take the little wins.
Boys, we'll hit plat next week or the week after or something. Today's not the day. Playing so bad today.
What are those stars that show up on the legend? It's that is a stuffed recovery effect. So when somebody is doing a recovery attack and you beat it out, those stars pop out. They poop out the stars because they got their recovery stuffed. You know Surus's brain turned off because he's only done N6 for like the past 2 minutes. What factor do I use when playing a legend such as stats, weapons, or SIGs? Depends on what I'm playing for. When it comes to ranked, I'm only going to play a legend that I'm comfortable with. First and foremost.
That was supposed to be. I got one. Gotta get one more, Duke. Gotta get one more. That was supposed to be a recovery.
Okay, you got time for one more, but you got to mentally reset yourself. If you're not saying dodges in this one, then this match was worth nothing.
All right.
I don't know why the music switched to the most dramatic music possible. I'm not gonna lie. I was playing.
He's tilted a little bit.
Some chill hip hop.
Obviously, it happens.
And
Can't
now
let it get to you.
This is the most.
You know, I'm a human being. I feel emotions.
Tense music possible here. We're going back to this.
All right, we ready? We're gonna win this one. And it's my boy Thatch. No way I can lose with Thatch.
What is a reset in Brawl language? It depends on the context, but generally it's about resetting your attack strings.
Aldo Ojeda, thank you for the support. Appreciate that. I felt that. Yeah, I felt that too.
Do I do private coaching? No. There are plenty of people who do private coaching, but no. What was I gonna say? Someone had a question. I already lost it. Sorry, chat. What's DI? Directional influence. So you know that if you hit a sword neutral light, they go forward. You know that if you're in 2v2s and you hit a neutral light and your teammate hits a neutral light, they go forward. But if they get hit by the same move twice from the same weapon, not like held by the same weapon, but the same type of weapon, then you can directionally influence, right? So you and your teammate are in 2v2s, you hit a neutral light with your sword, your teammate hits a neutral light with their sword, the opponent can directionally influence the way they're flying to go up and over you to get out of that. It is specific to 2v2s for Brawlhalla. Why have DI in 1v1? There is borderline no DI in 1v1. There is some niche situations where you can DI in 1v1 off of like wall bounces and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, there really isn't DI. What is Gimp? We went over that earlier. Uh-oh.
What was that?
Went a little too far. I think he was trying to cannonball there. A Gimp is when you beat someone out off stage without like hitting them into the kill box, right? So you're eating all their jumps and moves and recoveries and not allowing them back onto the stage. Kind of like that right there. See, he didn't go to the kill box, but he kind of like fell off and didn't get to touch anything. SD equals self-death or self-destruct. It's the same idea. Any very good tips for Axe and Ranked? I gave some tips for Axe earlier. Obviously start off knowing your side light and air. A lot of times you want to just start off with like side light and air into jump ground pound or side light and air recovery, things like that. And then after that, if you're having trouble approaching, go in with like D-Light, N-Light, or Dares for your approaching tools. Very rarely do you want to just dash up side light unless you're catching something. You okay?
Just really tilted. Not gonna lie.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That was an unfortunate match.
All right. Whew.
It's okay. You'll get it next time. Honestly, you're really, really close.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't even know what to say, chat. I let y'all down. That's my bad. One of those days. I was getting wrecked before.
Chat, I already said I'm struggling. I get diamond every season, but I'm struggling this season. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
The season's tough. All right. That's gonna do it for our dev stream today. I can't give any more tips right now. But okay, I'm just making sure I'm not muted to you. But that's gonna close out our stream for today. We are gonna go and raid someone. I need to double check who it is. Just one more time. But we're gonna raid someone. They've got a battle pass reveal. Where is it? Do you know who it is off the top of your head? Okay, Pavelski. We're raiding Pavelski.
Pavelski.
Okay. Chat already knows. We're gonna raid Pavelski. That's gonna do it for our dev stream. Thank you all for watching. We have weekly dev streams Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Brawlhalla.com/schedule. Check out the Pro Series tomorrow. Twitch.tv/Brawlhalla. And thank you all for watching. Have a good one, and good luck on your rank climbs. We're not out yet. We're not out yet. Hold on.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, they're at Pavelski. All right, bye YouTube.